Good morning, team. Today is the 12th of July, 2020, and it is a Sunday. It's my day 14. And since it's Sunday, I want to, first of all, one thing I do want to do is give a big shout out to our chaplain corps. Our chaplains, probably for the most of, is probably the number one call that military members call in time of need. And the chaplains have carried the water for a long time on when it comes to suicide and helping people in time of need. So a few days ago, I talked about postvention and what type of things are available to help open the door for post-traumatic growth, and there's a lot involved with that. There's a lot of survivor guilt out there that sometimes people need help with, and especially a lot of that can tie into a soldier's PTSD when they're coming back from combat or just other experiences that they've had in their life. Yesterday, I talked about the government's project called Prevents, and that is a pretty cool idea, because that covers, it's the answer to the president. It's a joint task force, or a task force. So they're bringing in the key players from a lot of other agencies besides the Veteran Affairs, Human Health Services, and a multitude of others, so they can talk with one voice and have one common objective to get towards this public health crisis, what I think is a public health crisis. And the Army is moving forward with a program that I believe started with the Chaplain Corps perhaps 4 or 5 years ago, and it's really started to get some traction now. It's called A Life Worth Living. And it's still in the early process, but I have seen some of the slides that are circulating around at the high levels, at the 4-star level, and there's a list of what has been working and what kind of ideas can we do to really get ahead of this. And on that list, one of the things that I remember is near the top, if not the top, continues to be to talking to your soldiers and your teammates, your neighbors, your family members, understanding what those risk factors are, and being able to identify those risk factors as early as possible so that you can start getting help and improve in some of the areas that seem to be challenges. One of those things is relationships. So chaplains have a big help in helping soldiers in particular, but everybody, to develop those relationships that matter to people. Those significant other relationships, they're very important. And it seems like that's one of the biggest risk factors. When somebody has a problem with their relationship, whatever else you're going through seems to be compounded. And so chaplains have a huge help in helping us get better at relationships. Master Resiliency Trainer is another area that the Army has been working towards that helps us focus on developing better relationships. And all that type of stuff is out there. So along with that, number one thing it's near at the top is talking with your soldiers, understanding what their risk factors are. And if you're a leader, a friend, a teammate, a battle buddy, a neighbor, a spouse, if you understand what those risk factors are and those challenges, start getting some help with that. So besides relationships, financial is another challenge that people will have. I mentioned if you get in trouble, or strong counseling statements. Sometimes they're all tied together. And when you start to notice these risk factors, start identifying ways that we can get out to the left and get your young soldiers in particular help. But one of the sad statistics that I'm starting to see is suicides is becoming the number one risk or cause of death, all the way down to ages of 10. And that's a tough one. I'm like, how many kids even know about suicide, let alone have the capacity to carry it out. So that's something all the way down to that. We need to start as young as we can to start improving awareness for this so that we can get after some of that. So keep an eye out for A Life Worth Living, and there'll be some other things that the Army will be doing. It's a rainy day here in Alabama, and sometimes life turns out like that. We got to weather through this storm. If you are needing help and it's a stormy day for you, reach out. Reach out to what you feel comfortable with and get some help. The trick really is to get the help before it becomes a crisis. So it's just a small little obstacle, a small challenge that we can work towards. There is a lot of help out there. You have to have the courage to seek it. And many kudos to all those people that are seeking help. And more importantly, there is a lot of hope. This weather, I know, is not going to last forever. And rainy days sometimes happen in life too. There's a lot of challenges out there. Okay, so with that, let's get after these push-ups. All right, team. Remember, there is a lot of help out there. There is a lot of hope. And remember, you're not in this alone. So let's do one more for that warrior in the sky. All right, team. Let's get after tomorrow's 22 today. I hope you have a great Sunday. Take care. 2-2.